Hey, Outlaw Nation, it's Godzilla versus Kong time. Got my review coming up next. Hey, Outlaw Nation, welcome back to another review here on the channel from me, the Outlaw John Rocha. Today we're talking about Godzilla vs. Kong. It's the latest installment in the Monsterverse from Warner Brothers Pictures and Legendary Entertainment. And this one comes to us from director Adam Wingard. And I got to tell you right off the bat, without spoiling anything, this is a non-spoiler review, I had an absolute blast watching this movie. There was so much to enjoy here in terms of Godzilla and Kong. That's what I focused on. That's what the title of the film is. And that's what brought me the most joy as I was watching this movie. We get multiple titanic battles between these two monsters, and it's a blast to watch each time. Adam Wingard did an exceptional job getting this thing to look fantastic, getting it to feel epic. The score from Junkie XL really helps with that as well. And overall, just got to tell you, the CGI, the graphics, the overall look of this film is gorgeous, and the battles are exemplary. There's some great choreography. There's multiple battles between these two titans to choose from to enjoy. There's different stories being told, and there's all leading to a massive final battle that I think will satisfy any fan of these monster movies from when they first came out in the 50s to now, for sure. And this is the fourth installment, so they've had some time to get this right. Certainly, I enjoyed the first Godzilla film that came out, I think, 2015. But then Kong Skull Island was okay. Godzilla King of the Monsters, that was just fun to turn your brain off and just kind of convince yourself that it was an okay time. This one doesn't take itself too seriously, certainly has the tongue firmly planted in the cheek, but that doesn't mean the stakes of what they're dealing with and what they're going through are not there throughout the movie. Let's talk about the cast. Millie Bobby Brown and Kyle Chandler come back, reprising their roles from Godzilla, the King of the Monsters. But joining the cast this time around is Alexander Skarsgård as this author slash kind of scientist who's got this theory about the hollow earth. And that's what they are trying to go and find here throughout the movie. The hollow earth, where supposedly there's this power source that can power the world for many centuries as well, and then possibly a new ecosystem, or a new ecosystem in terms of the fact that we haven't discovered it yet, down there as well. Also, Rebecca Hall joins the cast here as Eileen Andrews. Let me tell you something. When you're setting up these movies, you're not gonna, have a very layered, complex, nuanced script. There's gonna be some dialogue you're gonna say that's cheesy or a little ridiculous, so you've got to find great actors who can be very believable while they're delivering this dialogue. And certainly Rebecca Hall and Alexander Skarsgård should be at the top of your list if you're trying to do a film like this. You know who else should be at the top of your list? Tyree Henry, who joins this cast as well. I discovered him watching Atlanta, and then, of course, loving his work in other projects, and seeing him come in as this blogger, this conspiracy blogger who's going after Monarch, trying to figure out what they're doing with these monsters. A nice little element to add to the film that feels very realistic. Yes, is he stereotypical? Absolutely. But it's nice to have that kind of flavor to this idea of a modern approach to these monsters in the world of monsters that they would exist in. Millie Bobby Brown joins him on this trek to find out what's happening. Julian Dennison, who many of you remember from Deadpool 2 and Hunt for the Wilder People, I think that's the name of the movie. He joins that little crew as they go off to try to figure out what Monarch is doing. Demián Bichir joins the cast, and Isaac Gonzalez as well as his daughter. Demián Bichir is this high-powered tech owner who's trying to get to that source, to get that power source, so he can kind of put the humans back on top of the evolutionary pyramid there and kind of control the Titans. Also joining the cast, you get a quick a taste of Lance Reddick in the movie. He's not in it that long, which I was really surprised about. And Shun Oguri is in this as well, as someone who is working alongside Demián Bichir to make this all happen. So here's the basic plot. Demián Bichir's character wants to help Alexander Skarsgård's character, who's been writing about this concept of the hollow earth, this place all the way down into the Earth's core, where this magical world of titans and creatures and prehistoric animals lives. And so Bichir's trying to help him do this. And what that leads to is something that I can't spoil for you, but it leads to a massive battle scene at the end of the movie. So that's the basic gist of this whole thing. There's a little girl who connects with King Kong, who helps us all along. She's deaf, so they communicate through sign language. Rebecca Hall is kind of like her caretaker. So wherever the little girl goes, Kong is willing to go. Godzilla in the previous movies has been the protector of humanity, the protector of us here on the earth. But in this movie, certainly he's an aggressor. He's picking the fights. He's constantly attacking Kong. And so that leads to these battles. And then we find out that there's a little more going on here than we anticipated. And Tyree Henry is a podcaster, a typical podcaster who's trying to, a conspiracy podcaster who's trying to unearth the secrets of what's happening here with the help of Millie Bobby Brown. There are 2 or 3 separate storylines working throughout this. There's the Tyree Henry, Millie Bobby Brown, Julian Dennison crew. There's the Demián Bichir, Isaac Gonzalez, Alexander Skarsgård, Rebecca Hall, and Shun Oguri crew. And then there's Godzilla and Kong doing their old thing, age-old battles from the times that they were titans. Look, the thing is, this is why you cast the way you cast in a movie like this. You cast really good actors like Rebecca Hall and Alexander Skarsgård and Tyree Henry and Millie Bobby Brown and Lance Reddick and Kyle Chandler, because you don't need to be bogged down with exposition. You want to get people who are going to be able to deliver the lines and have a little fun. I've seen a lot of reviewers saying like, "Oh, feel bad for these people being in these films." They're actors. And at the end of the day, what we love to do is be a part of these bigger franchise movies and have a little fun, collect a big paycheck, and roll on our way. There's plenty of independent films that are not going to pay you what they pay you to do these big blockbuster franchise films. So shout out to them for doing it and making such difficult dialogue. And at times could be ridiculous or cheesy dialogue. They make it work and they believe what they're saying. Certainly, there's a moment where Rebecca Hall and Alexander Skarsgård, when they go down into the hollow earth, have their lives threatened, and they are both acting that moment, and it's very realistic, the fear on their faces. So that's why you cast the way you do in these situations. And Tyree Henry certainly bringing the comedy and the humor to his part that he does throughout the movie. So overall, I would tell you this: if you're looking to have some fun, this is the one for you. As I've said before, we've all been caught up with COVID situations. We've all been in this lockdown, and it's been a tough time. So sometimes you just want to turn your brain off and have a blast. And this is one of those films that you will have a blast in. The fight sequences, the CGI, the choreography, the cinematography even. It's a fantastically well-directed film. Is it going to win Oscars? Maybe for special effects, but that's not what you go to see this movie for, is it? So on that scale, I give it 3.5 cowboy hats out of 5. It is worth it. Watch this one on HBO Max or go see it in the theaters. All right, well, let me know what you think of this review down there in the comments section below. Give it a like as well and share it on your social media. Always appreciate you all doing that as I do more and more of these reviews. And please subscribe to the channel down below as well. We're trying to march toward that 17,000 subscriber mark, then over that 20,000 subscriber mark. And doing videos like this is a way to kind of make that happen. So give it some love, share it around, and bring some more people into the Outlaw Nation. All right, take care of yourselves, and we'll talk to you next time with another brand new review here on the Outlaw Nation.